I really like to know as we're getting started is where you are physically located. Like, are you in St. Louis, Missouri? Put it out there. If you are in Timbuktu, I know nobody's on Timbuktu, but just let me know in the chat because I like to sort of regionalize my conversation also. And this is being recorded, so that's a good thing because those people who've registered who might have difficulty coming on, you'll get a chance to see the recording. So I will say this too. Um, I will. Well, hey, Miss Denny. Nice to see you here from Atlanta. I will be in Atlanta in I think we said we are going to come there in a few weeks. I got someone else out there, so maybe I'll get a chance to see you while I'm out there. Um, we are going to only have 30 minutes tonight. So, with that being said, it's going to be really fast. I'm probably going to talk really fast. So, I just hope that you got your notebooks handy. I see Erin's got hers right next to me. And by the way, Erin is here with me in person. We're going to be walking through today at our RIA event. And I'm excited for her to just get her feet wet a little bit. Yay, Quatez. I'm so glad to see you. So glad you made it. I'm so glad it worked. I don't know what I did wrong the last time, but hey, two times is the charm. So good to see you too. And I see Detroit, Michigan in the house. I am just loving the places that we are being exposed. So literally, we are on a countdown of a minute. I am starting promptly at 6 o'clock so that we can be done and inside by 6:30 to start our networking event. So hopefully you got questions. If you don't have any, that's okay too. But if you've got questions, you will be putting them in the chat. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and jump right in because we are on a countdown. I'm probably right at 6 o'clock. So, the first thing I want to do is, first of all, welcome you all for being here. Thank you for coming on and taking advantage of the opportunity that you have with me. As you know, our transitional housing maximized community, I'm just really just giving y'all as much as I can give you because I want to see you all succeed and be successful. But I'm going to say too, this isn't going to last forever at a free level. So I'm just giving as much knowledge as I can now while I can keep this community free. And then those of you who have paid for some of our products, thank you. First of all, it's going to be for your benefit more than anything. And many of you took advantage of a lot of that last time. So I got something very special, though, that I will be sharing at the end of this. So hopefully you can stay on till the end. With that being said, we're going to jump right into our poll because it is 6 o'clock. I'm going to start my first poll, and I need everyone to respond if you can. It says, where are you in your transitional housing journey? I like knowing that when people come in so that I can understand who's in the room because I'm not going to know everybody. But if you can just let me know where you are, that'll help me see how I'm going to navigate this conversation going forward because I do see that we all are in this together, but we're in varying places. You might have just started or you have a vision. That's sort of what I'm seeing is popping up right now is many people have a vision. Some people are just now exploring, do I have anybody in the room who is running a facility? I need to know that. If there's anyone running a facility right now, I do need to know that because that might shift how we have a discussion. But right now, it looks like most of you are either just exploring the idea or you have a vision of it. And it doesn't look like anybody on here has a property or a program in place and it is expanding. So that's a good thing. The next question I've got that's our first poll. We're going to now see this next question, which is how confident are you about partnering with landlords? So, because that's our topic tonight, partnering with landlords, I need to know how confident you feel about partnering with them. When I say partnering, it's like getting their property and using it. You're either very confident, you're somewhat confident, you're not confident at all, or you have no idea really where to start. It should be, okay, that's good. I see some people who are somewhat confident about partnering. So let's dig into that a little deeper. If you've not responded yet, go ahead and respond because I want to then get to the next question. Okay, we have some people who are somewhat confident in how you feel about partnering with them. So now we are going to jump right into our next poll, which then says this here. Because of that, which of these feels like your biggest roadblock right now as it relates to that partnership? So, is it knowing where to find them? Is it communicating your vision effectively? Is it reaching the right landlords? Because you might have not reached the right ones. You really want to know how to reach the right ones. Is it following up and staying consistent, or is it something else? I just need to see where you feel yourself falling. Your biggest roadblock I'm seeing popping up on the screen right now is most of you feel, keep answering if you haven't yet. Most of you are feeling that you're not confident yet in knowing how to communicate your vision or reaching the right ones, and also knowing where to find them. So this really, the way I have set this up today, I think is going to really serve. I just want to make sure that our training is going to hit the ball. I think I have just one more question, and that is related to, oh, wrong one in that poll, wrong one. I got to do the other one. Sorry. We reset. We want this last question, which is this the one? Yes. How or have you ever reached out to a landlord before? I need to know if anyone has ever. It's either yes, it went well, yes, but I didn't get a response, no, but I plan to, or no, I'm nervous. Answer one of those four related to you reaching out to a landlord. Okay. No, but I plan to. I'm seeing right now being on the table. Doesn't look like anyone has expertise yet in actually talking to one and getting a result. And you guys have the right training today planned, because what we're going to cover, and I appreciate you guys taking the time of doing the poll, because those things are critical to us being able to share with you what the next steps are. So let's jump right into the presentation, because it's now 6:04. I gave myself 5 minutes, so we're ahead of schedule. We're going to jump right into our presentation. And specifically, you already know what we're talking about, which is partnering with landlords and preparing you for these type of events. Today, we are here at St. Louis St. Louis Real Estate Investors Association. That's what RIA is, a Real Estate Investors Association, but we're here now at one. So by the end of today, hopefully in this training, I'm going to do as fast as I can, but give you as much as I can. You're going to learn I'm going to show you how to effectively partner with them and work with them in your transitional housing facility, and show you how to win when you network with them. And you'll also know what a RIA is and why it's important to you in the position that you're in right now. And my goal is hopefully you'll get some confidence. I'm hearing that people would like to know how to be more confident in this space. So I want to make sure I answer those questions. So as we're talking, please put some information in the chat if you got questions. I'm going to try to check back and forth just to see if we've got any questions as we're going through the material, and I will do my best to insert it since we only have 30 minutes to share today. Okay? So when we talk about a RIA, it's a Real Estate Investors Association. That's what a RIA is. Every community has one. They have multiple ones. I think my husband and I, we at least were members of at least 5 major ones in our area. And the reason why it's so important is because you're going to find everybody and their mama at this event if we're talking about properties. So you're going to find the investors, you're going to find lenders, you're going to find landlords, and the service providers. Guess where you fall in? You're a service provider, because you're going to provide a service, quote unquote, in a property that they own. So that's how you sort of niche yourself out, as well as still being an investor as well. You're just a different niche of investor. But that's why these RIAs are so important. So when we set these things up, I realize it might be a little hot in here. I'm sorry. Sorry about that. It's a great place to be, because this is where you network. And even if you're not what you consider a traditional real estate investor, you should be a part of this network, because the things that you can get from them, I can give you a slew of reasons why. And especially as it relates to your property. Let me just throw these in here while it's in my head. When you're in your property, let's say you just set up and you need cabinets or you need furniture, and you just met at a RIA person who cleans out properties. Now you're going to say, well, what are you going to do with that furniture you just found? Now, mind you, you want to get the right furniture. I'm just going to say, you don't want just anybody furniture, and you need to check it out really well. But sometimes some of these houses and these big houses got nice furniture that you don't mind getting. So you see why it's important to network, but you definitely want to learn how to network. You also want to be able to be able to pitch your mission. You never know how great you might grow in your area to where they say, oh, dang, Aaron, you're doing so amazing out here. Why don't you come to our RIA and share this with other people like this? Now you're the go to person as it relates to this type of housing in your community. That's what you want to do. And you want to be able to attract people to you who can collaborate with you. That's why I love RIAs. They've always been a part of who we are and what we've built. And we still utilize them today. And it's been, what, 15 years we've been doing this stuff? And we're still connected to RIAs. Now, as it relates to when you come to these, it's important that you come prepared. I do not want you coming and not have a game plan. Okay. Now, if you come and you don't have a game plan, no harm, no foul. You ain't gonna break nothing. Just go and absorb and just gather information. Don't talk too much. Just listen and collect stuff if you don't have an idea of what you're working with. But when you go in, your goal is to have, at least have two goals, 1 to 2 clear goals when you get here. You need to make sure you're at least how many people you want to reach as it relates to transitional housing. And then if there's anybody here with lending, you want to know about creative financing, because those are the two most important things to you, especially if you don't have money to be able to get a property. You want to be able to know where you can get a property when you're ready to get one, or when you're ready to get some money. How creative can they be? Because there's so many things you can put together to create, to do creative financing. It will blow your mind. I'll have to do an episode on that or do a training on that so you guys can be aware of what's available. But when you come, don't come empty handed. You at least want to have a business card, or at least a way in which you can share who you are so they'll remember you. So those are the key things that you want to do when you come, is to have a clear, defined purpose. So then by the time you're here, I want you thinking about, what is it that I'm going to say? Like, people get nervous when they get in front of people and have to say, well, what do you do? And you're like, da, 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 da. No, we don't do that. At least know you can say who you serve or what it is that you uniquely do in your program. And I'm just going to say, this is a new niche that not too many people know about. So this is a great opportunity to showcase yourself and something they've never really seen or heard before. Because when you get into this space and you have that is what is going to be critical for you, is to be able to communicate that in 30 seconds to somebody else about what it is that you do. And I promise you, when you do that, and you must practice, because if you don't practice, you will fumble over your own tongue. So practice in front of a mirror, brush your teeth, say it in your head, like get it to where it's a rhythm, to where it's a part of you. And there's so many things you can do to be trained on how to come up with a really good elevator speech. I can take the time and provide training on that too, because we've done it so many different ways. But you can go to ChatGPT just as quick and get that information and find out how to tighten something up. And then now you just practice that to the point where that's all you say. So you must craft your elevator speech so that it is solid. Now, once you're solid with what you're gonna say when you get in, you got your cards. Now you're talking. And usually all of these RIAs have like a 30-minute networking in front of the actual lesson itself. So you want to be able to come in, hey, tell me about you. What type of investing do you do? You need to ask questions. That is the best thing you can do. As you heard me say earlier, you might not know what to say, but say something, ask them about them, make it about them. Because people do what? They love talking about themselves. So let them talk about themselves all day, every day. Your goal is to make sure that you can learn as much as you can about what it is that they do, and then figure out how you can position your conversation into theirs. Because after you find out what they do, it might not be a good fit to ask, you could still ask, well, have you ever partnered with a nonprofit operator before? Or have you ever worked with a nonprofit? If you just say it like that, because there are people who, would love to, but they don't know how to. That's an open door for you. The moment they say, you know what, I never thought about that, but I would love to do something like that. Right. Because people love working with nonprofits. Why? Because it's guaranteed money. Now, this is where the position can switch, because you want to be able to say what your piece is, how you can help bring some value to them, especially if they're looking to partner with a nonprofit. Now, I did not say y'all were a nonprofit, okay? but you act like one. You're a social enterprise. So understand you do not have to be a nonprofit to do this work. You can be a social enterprise, which is still a for profit industry, a for-profit business, but you're doing it for you're impacting the social, having a social impact to what it is that you're doing. So you want to make sure that you start that conversation and then find a way to weave yourself into it and make it about them. But then you're going to share the model. So if they say, "Oh, well, I never thought about that. I would really love to do that." "Oh, well, if you did, what would it look like?" Like, find out what they want. "I really like working with youth." "Oh, you do? Well, that's what I do." And now you're bringing in your conversation. Now, if they talk and say something different, it doesn't mean that you can't inject yours, but you can always say, "You know what? That's great. It's great when you can work with youth. But have you ever considered working with veterans?" "Well, yeah, that's something else." Now you plug your stuff. So you have to learn how to weave yourself into the conversation. And that is the best way to do that. Now, I can say this: you have to have some type of talking points, because once you get into that conversation, it could go sideways on you, and you just want to be prepared, because once you start opening your mouth and talking about what you do, and after you finish your elevator speech, now what? Right? So thinking about, okay, well, have you ever heard of transitional housing? Well, this is why we do what we do. This is why it's so important. Once people understand we are going to have an affordable housing crisis, which we already experiencing now, in the next 2 years, you're not going to be able to see it. It's not going to be affordable for individuals. So you're providing a way to capture that in order to offset what we are going to experience, as well as homelessness. These are the things you can clearly show them why it would be important for them to work with someone like you, because you're here to help end homelessness. You're here to help provide housing for someone who might not be able to get it. And you're not just doing housing, you're going to help change their lives too. How powerful is that for you to be able to impact someone's life like that? You're helping them change too. Those of you who are here in the space with me, I understand that, there are people out here talking about the group homes, which is wonderful. I love group homes. But to just set up group homes and leave people there with nothing else to do but that, like, my heart wants to do more. So I'm hoping, if you are in that space where you just want to set properties, which is wonderful too, that I can tug on your heart a little bit, to tug on those people who want more. I don't need all of them. I just need you to find me one. So if we fill up your house with 8, give me one that really wants to get it to the next level at the very least, because that's what this is all about: providing transitional housing to transition people into something better. And the benefits to that landlord: they're going to get consistent rent dues every month from you. The property is going to be managed because you're managing it. You're making sure it's managed well. You even might consider offsetting some of the maintenance, which we'll talk about how you can do that and make sure that's not an issue for them. And you're a positive impact in the community. Those are the things that they like to hear. And guess what? They get to play a part of that. How great of a partnership you get with an investor and saying, "You know what? And I can thank you for it. I can talk about how amazing it was to work with you, how you also partnered with us in making this effort work." You see how you change the narrative? You make it about them, but it also helps you too. And they sometimes will consider not charging a lot of dues for that rent to you that you'll have to pay, because you are making a difference and you're willing to give them that, and like sort of pat them on the back too along with that. So I just want to encourage you with those things. And then you can, and I want to offer, you offer to follow up. You always, when you finish a conversation, say you're going to follow up with them, and we'll talk about what that looks like, I think, in the next slide. So not yet. First, I want to talk about the things you don't want to do. You want to make sure that you don't talk too much. Now, I'm just going to tell you, I'm a talker, and it's so hard sometimes for me to learn to shut my mouth, but I do, because it's all about asking the right questions. Asking questions and the right questions are critical when you're talking to them. And there's a time and place for you to talk too much, and it's when they want to really hear about your program. So not at the event. So it's not about sitting you. And I want to say too, when you come to these, don't sit with one person for the whole 30 minutes. Like, if you're getting 3 people, your job is just to plant a seed, say hi, and it was really great chatting with you. I want to make sure we follow up, and then you follow up. go to the next person. And when you do that, you'll get an opportunity to talk a lot about what it is that you do, but you'll want to make sure you don't talk too much, and you don't want to overpromise, saying things that you not are not going to do, or promising them things that you know that you're not going to be able to commit to. And then you really want to make sure you have those talking points together. I don't like winging it sometimes, but guess what? You really can't break it. And you're going to meet these people for the first time. Hey, I haven't seen them in a long time. See, there's people I'm going to see here I haven't seen in a million years. But anyway, these are the type of things you want to avoid. Now, let's talk about what you bring. You want to make sure you've got your pen and a notebook and to take notes, because you're clearly going to take notes while you're here. And if you need to write their information down, you write that down. Now, I'm going to encourage you, when you get their cards, don't just get their card and tuck it in your pocket. Write something down memorable. Why? Because when you send them an email back and you respond, you're going to say, you know what? I was so great hearing about bloop, bloop, bloop. Whatever y'all talked about, you need to at least have one or two bullets about what they told you, because people really, they're like, oh, she really was listening to me. That is important. Having your flyers, have pitch prepared, and then being open-minded as it relates to, what it is that you're doing, but then your energy is everything. Now I'm going to check real quick. We're like halfway through. I'm just going to see if there's any key questions yet. Okay. I will, Andrea, I will give you something in just a moment. We'll do something toward the end about a pitch that you can do, as an example. Then when you, after the RIA, I feel like I missed a slide. You guys, and I didn't think I passed through it. Let me just go back because I'm missing a slide, I think. What did bring? Oh, I must have missed it. I must have pulled up an old presentation, but no worries. I will give it to you guys later if I can, because it really was just talking about, this slide particularly talked about what things to bring. Maybe I did cover it. Anyway, let's just keep going, and then I can come back to Andrea's question. So going back to the presentation, follow-up, and maybe it isn't another slide. I'm looking for a specific slide. When I see it, I'll let you know. So you will want to make sure that when you at the end of RIA, that you follow up within 48 hours. Why? Because they're not going to remember you after 48 hours, 2 days, like they really aren't. You want to make sure that you are following up within a 48-hour period, especially if you made a really good connection, so that you can, because people care about when you follow up. And then that thank you email, that's where I said you offer that bullet of something that is amazing, that talks about, something that you talked about when you guys met. And then if you have your program brochure that you can send to them, that's better suited than trying to pass it out here. Because I'm telling you, when I collect stuff here, that paper ends up on my desk. I don't see it again. And you want to make sure they can remember you and come back to you. And I would say still encourage them to be a part of our community. I don't know if you guys know, Transitional Housing Maximized School Community is not just meant for us. I plan to bring in other people, other partners, collaborators, so that they can understand what it is that you're a part of, and then you can build that community up. And then you are going to want to keep track of those contacts and those conversations. So now that we are in this phase of your final thoughts, because I want to make sure you understand, basically, this is an opportunity for you to be able to expand and grow, even as it relates to the movement by going to these RIAs. Those are opportunities. And when you come, I want you to be bold. You have to be selling yourself and selling what it is that you're going to be doing. But you most of all have to be yourself, because you can't be me. You can't be someone else. You can only be you. So find your comfort in that space and then do that. Be the best version of you, because it's about what the impact is that you're going to create, and not necessarily just the properties. It's about their purpose and what it is that you're moving forward with. So with that being said, I am going to now go to the questions, and then I'm going to have to leave the last 5 minutes for me. So I've got 4 minutes to quickly give a pitch. Andrea was asking for a short pitch that I would offer. So I'm always, when I go meet people, it's always, hi, I'm Tony Wade, the Compassionate Investor, because that's what I call myself. And I'm with the HomeQuest group, where we transform lives with real estate. And the way in which we do that is by utilizing the properties that we have to not only house those who are hard to house, but we also provide training. That's what I do. That's my quick little thing that I say to people when I talk to them. And keep it short and simple. It should not be long and complicated. But that's what I talk about when I say be short and sweet. It doesn't even have to be 30 full seconds. You just want to be able to get to the point where people understand who you are and what it is that you do. And that's what it should resonate with. So that's how I would approach it, Andrea. Hopefully that answers your question. But it's really just getting to short and sweet. Exactly. It should not be overcomplicated. And I say start out like with something even long and then work on condensing it. Cause like I actually used to have a 30-second elevator pitch. I don't even say that stuff. You see how short it is now because I get so confident. There's nothing you could say to me that's going to get me off. But do it short and sweet and keep it to the point. But you have to get to what makes you unique and different too. What makes me unique and different is we don't only just house them, we give them training as well so that they can learn how to sustain themselves. When people hear that, they are all over that. They want to see that happen. And I push toward that. Any other questions? I mean, Aaron, I want to ask you if you had any questions since you're here in person. You're welcome to ask one. Otherwise, I'll stay in the room.
Oh no, I'm good. I'm gonna probably think about.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Because Aaron's got to get prepared because she getting ready to walk inside and meet some landlords. We gonna get it together, girl. So, any other questions before we jump in? Because I have two more minutes for questions. If you've got one, this is the time to put it out there. But my goal for you, while I'm waiting to see a question, and then I will have to take over the rest of the conversation related to this last part. I want you to realize the power that you have in going to RIAs. Because as I said, there are so many opportunities like this in your city that you can never run out of leads. There's no excuse for not moving forward other than you just are afraid to move forward. And I'm going to help you move forward. So be ready to be pushed because there's opportunity all around you. And with a RIA, there's at least 5 to 6 different ways you can find properties. We ain't even touch on some others I could share with you. But when you come to our elite, when you join the elite, I give you everything and I want you to be a sponge. But these are just a handful of things that I can share with you. And so as you move into this space in your community, my challenge to you who's on this call is I need you to find one RIA in your community. Just one. If you find more than one, wonderful. But I want one that's in person. I do not want one that's virtual. I know that's like, oh man, I don't want you going in the virtual ones. I want an in-person one. And then when you do that, whatever day that they're having it, put it on your calendar and commit to attending, as uncomfortable as it might be. And I want you following these steps that I just gave you so that you can get, and this is specifically for people who don't have property yet. But let's say you do have property, you still can utilize this because you remember what I said, finding somebody who does property clean outs, right? You need to furnish some things, right? So always you can even if you've got properties and you want to upgrade and and you go to the really nice RIA, the one that's got all the high-end clean outs. You don't know, you can be amazed at the stuff you can find in those. So with that being said, it is now 6:25. I'm committed to what I said I was going to do, which was stop at 6:25. I hope this next slide, because if it's not on here, yes, this was what's most important. I don't know how the other slide, I don't know where that one slide went. But I want to first of all say to the group of you, I don't know how many is on the call right now. I think we almost reached our 10 last week, which I am so beyond excited for because at today, the special we were running yesterday has ended because I think we just got either a 10th person, we got one more left. So it's going to end either tonight or or the one it's already ended. So if you still want the 8 steps, which it's hard to do this without my 8 steps. I'm just going to be honest. My 8 steps, you really need my 8 steps to do this, or you can trial and error it your way. You can do it that way too. But to get that, which took me hours to put together a few years ago, is amazing. And it still works today. Like all of it still works. But I've done so much more since then. I gave you guys the opportunity to get that last week for $200 off, which was not quite half, but it was still $297. So if it is still available, I would encourage you to pick that up if that's the best you can do right now. But if you cannot do that, just still stay on. I'm going to keep giving you what I can give you for free. Okay. But this right here, because I have had four people tap on my shoulder and say, Tony, I don't want to wait for the VIP. I don't want to wait for the elite. I already know I need you to move forward. Whatever it takes. I'm paying and sending you this money. So I am now going to open that up to nine more people because I've already done it for. I've already done it. I started it already today. One person already took me up on what it is that we're doing, but this is unheard of in this space to offer everything that I'm offering for half off. Like I already know what I'm offering. You could take and run with and like build an amazing dynasty, but I'm going to offer it to. I have 10 spots, and there's a reason why there's 10 because I know what I'm building out. It's in my head. One day I'll share with you what's in my head, but I already know I'm going to take over this country with this model because we're going to impact this world so tremendously after you get your property set up. But I need 10 to start with right now. So if you haven't purchased yet, but you're ready to start your journey, if you have purchased the 8 steps already and you're ready to go deeper, or you're just ready to launch and scale right now, this is who this is for because I'm ready to move forward with 10 of you. And I've already got one person on board already. Now, with that being said, special pricing we're offering because it's right now it's regularly $59.97, but I'm doing it half off. So for $2,998, you're going to be able to get everything. It's like you're pre-ordering it now. I'm not doing more than 10 because these 10 are critical right now because I want to set some things up over the next month or two with these 10 individuals who purchase this now. And one of them already has. So you already know who you are. I'm coming to you. But this is what we're building out across 10 cities. And if you pick it up now, I'm going to get you in now. You're going to get access to everything I got right now, even though it's not ready. So it's not bad. It's just rough. Y'all know when y'all get something rough, but it's still good. You don't care how you get it. You just want it. I'm giving that to you for half off, and I'm never going to offer it like this again. So if this is an opportunity you want to do now, this is the time to do it to be a part of my 10. This will end once I get my 10. Now, if you've already purchased the 8 steps and you want to still get this, I will take that difference off. So whatever you paid, I'll take that off of the balance. You just owe me the balance. But I'm looking for 10 cities, 10 individuals who want to do this from now to next week. Because when we do that, you're going to get all of this. You'll obviously get the steps you've already got now. I'm going to start now because I've already got persons signed up where you're going to get the additional trainings that I'm going to offer probably on a Saturday for like an hour and a half. We're going to dig into some deeper stuff so you can get some advanced training, and then you're going to get all of my tools and templates that I've got available. And I have it on here as lifetime access. You'll get lifetime access even as I build it out and make it better. You'll get lifetime access to this. This is going to evolve over time and grow, and you get that for life, which is going to be phenomenal for you to get. And of course, you've got this community of which this 10 groups, the 10 of you, you're going to be a part of a special group. I don't want to call you my inner circle yet just because I had another step for that, but you're practically like my inner circle. So that's what you get. And the why now is because you want to get it now before the price does increase. So I wanted to say all that, and I'm not putting pressure on anybody. I just want the 10 right people to be the ones who step up and do this now and secure that spot in our elite. And once that's done, because you can do it by simply going to the classroom on school, it's listed as the Transitional Housing Maximized Elite, and it will allow for you to get it there. If you are somebody who paid in it already for the other course, just let me know you want it, and I'll just change it for you so that you can move forward with that. So that was a mouthful, guys. I am so excited for what we were able to do. I see no other questions in the classroom, and now I think the inside is calling us to start networking. So I see some of you saying for Erin to have fun. She's going to have an amazing time getting to go with me inside to meet some wonderful people. And I look forward to seeing you all than in the school classroom so that we can get some things moving forward. And of course, seeing you in the chat. And by the way, I just want to say how much I love how you guys just communicate out there. We are the new, like, we are a family I've never seen. And I love how you guys lift each other up. So continue doing that, because we are truly going to be the ones that are going to change the world, and we're going to transform our lives as well as the lives of others. And I'll look forward to seeing you guys soon. I'll talk to you later. Bye bye.